So can I start now?
Yes, you may start. Go ahead.
All right, ma'am. So my name is Alexander Oguche, a beneficiary of His Royal Highness Olori Olufunmilayo Oluyede 1 million teachers training scheme, and a copper serving in the community as well. So in fact, I have a lot to say, but I don't know if there will be time for me to tell my story. I'm also a black belt, 1 million teachers black belt. And after going through my SDG course, I realized I can actually give back the community what I have learned. Because the point there is not just to undergo the course, but to as well be productive. And 1 million teachers are really, honest. At first, I never had interest in it. I never wanted to do anything, participate, waste my data, waste my time. I never wanted to do any of this. But along the line, I came to realize that ever since I was posted to IED Ogbese community here, one thing I noticed is that no COP members, like the NYC COP members, none of them wants to stay. None of them wish to stay in IED Ogbese. Or even those who were posted together, some have to be deployed. That there is nothing here, there is nothing in IED Ogbese. Why would I stay after service and there is nothing to catch up with, nothing at all? So I now decided to
So I think we're having some technical issues. I can't hear our host for today. So please bear with us. Maybe it's a network issue. He has gone off. I can't see his name here anymore. He did tell me he was having some technical issues. So please bear with us. Network issues. Yeah, I think it's network issues. So hopefully he'll join us soon. But he was talking about how he was on the National Youth Service and how he was posted to this village, Ayede Ogbese, and a lot of people were not happy about being posted to that village because they thought there was nothing to do. But he made the most of his situation. So they say necessity is the mother of invention. When we are in some tight situations, sometimes it pushes us to be creative and to think of other ways of making our lives more interesting. So that's what he was talking about before the network threw him out. I hope the network will bring Alexander back so he can tell us about his really interesting, impactful story about the community in Ayede Ogbese. So we'll just wait patiently and hope that the network will bring him back.
Okay.
Hello, what's happened?
Yes, man, the network. I'm working on it now. I've changed my position.
And still no presentation, no PowerPoint.
I've sent someone to help me plug the system. I did even start for, I sent one of my students to help me plug the system to start for at least even if it's just for 5 minutes so that we send PowerPoint.
You should have sent it before today. You can't just sit there and be talking. You have to have something else apart from talking to people. You have to have a presentation. And I told you. So, okay, we are waiting. We're waiting for you to return. Hello, sorry for the delay.
Saharan Africa. My name is Hakim Subab.
How do we raise a critical mass of educators that not only um, um, change the narrative at their school by enhancing student learning and all that, but to go beyond that to their communities.
I'm Dr. Jane Chin, and I am a professor at the Faculty of Education at Queen's University in Kingston. I teach a first-year course, which is an introduction to teaching, and then I also teach English curriculum methods for high school English teachers, and I also have research expertise in cross-cultural teaching and learning. Hakeem is somebody that I respect a great deal. I think he's a fantastic person as well. I really enjoy his company. But what I really respect about him is his vision for a sustainable model of teacher education in sub-Saharan Africa. I respect his ability to see what could be.
Yeah. When I was growing up, the profession that really attracted me was pilot. Was to be a pilot, a fighter pilot in Air Force. So I saw this pilot.
Okay, I'm sorry about the interruption. I think he's back with us now. Alexander, are you back? Alexander, are you there? Alexander, can you unmute and join us? Are you with us?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. Welcome back. All right, carry
Thank
on.
you. Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So sorry for the delay. So the idea of developing Ayede Ogbese came up after going through the SDG course. After going through the SDG course, so I now decided to think of how I can actually, due to what my mentor, Mrs. Kola, oriented me on, that I can actually develop Ayede Ogbese so that it will serve as another room for other couples to come and not do again. So I shouldn't join them in saying I want to leave, I want to go. So I went through the course and I noticed and I studied the part of, most especially the community empowerment, that aspect. Then I decided to say, I can actually come out with something, not really in educational sector, but okay, I'm a photographer. I learned photography and ICT. I have little ideas, and at least I can do some little things with it. So I now decided to come up with the idea of organizing a class, a form of a photo clinic in the community. And the reason for doing this is I realized at least I've stayed in Ogbesi now for more than 6 months. So I realized that most of the youth after secondary school, some who didn't want to learn, they don't have anything doing, no work for them. Rather, what they do is to be wandering around the street. So I decided to come up with this with the idea of organizing a tutorial class on photography and ICT to groom boys and girls on how to take pictures, what pictures and videos is all about, on how to do the business. So of which some of the times I have to meet, I met some of my boss that are not staying within Akure. Sometimes I will have to bring them down to come and teach my students. And to the glory of God, I think about 10 to 15 of them trooped in. They showed interest. It's not as if maybe they are paying anything. They are actually not paying. I made it free for them. Since I have a camera, I have a camera, I have a laptop, and I think I have some little photography equipment. So I decided to start with that. So along the line, I came up with the idea of not just building them on photography, but as well, let me relate it to ICT, like what we are doing now. Is part of what they are actually learning as well. And after a month, they registered with me for the training. Then I noticed that some of them can actually handle camera because they don't even know anything. Some of them have not even touched camera before. And I noticed that some of them can actually handle cameras, operate laptop, at least do some little things on laptop, doing connecting laptops with and webcam to do some little documentary. So gradually, and also whenever I have events, I do go with some of them for us to cover events. And to the glory of God, they are all catching up. They are all catching up. And another good thing about it is that about a few of them have to go out to the town and tell their friends that something like this is happening in Ogbese. Because as at last 2 months, we printed, I printed a banner, I did the graphics, I printed the photography banner for whosoever that wants to learn should come. Though we don't have a permanent site, so I discussed with my school management, that the school my place of primary assignment. I discussed with the man, and the man accepted that okay, I can be using one of the classes for now. That is after school hours, the student come. We have few of them are out of secondary school already, while some are still in secondary school. So I keep building them up on how to do some of those things, inviting professionals that are vast in videography and photography to teach them more on this, of which sometimes I will have to use my own money to pay for their transport fare. They are going and coming. And as at last month, we did a short video. The students, I gave them a project to do a short video on the tries of love. It's a musical short video, and I have it on YouTube. It's on my YouTube page. So we did something just to know if they are really getting it. And presently now, I think if not half, this Porter and some areas in IED Ogbese knows something like this is going on. And seriously, it has kept the youth, most especially the youth, boys and girls, that the clinic has kept them busy. After school, they will come for the training, and on Saturdays we go for events. After school, they come for the training. On Saturday, we go for events. So it has taken them away from the streets. They don't wander around. Some of them that I know, and I think last term, that was October, around August, October, I visited some schools to tell them about the new development that is coming up. Though our facilities is not enough, but those children are really catching up. And the fact I am happy I have benefited from 1 million teachers is, at least if they will be counting on those that impacted life, I am one of them, because within 1 or 2 months, I impacted 8 to 10 students. I impacted them on what they never knew nothing about. They are just amateurs. They don't know how to operate. Some of them have not even touched camera before. And from last week, I've started teaching them on how to fly a drone. Where after the school hours, I will have to take them to an open area where I will invite someone who is vast in that aspect, who has a drone, and will train them, teach them how to fly drone, how to do community mapping, locational mapping, and so on. So they are still on it, and at the same time, I have to group them in segments: drone services, and also making of frames, pictorial services like frame making, mug, towels, and some customizing of towels is still part of what they do. Anything that has to do with picture is actually what I am teaching them, and they are really getting it, and they are very, very happy. Even their parents are happy as well. So presently now, I don't even have the mind of living Ayede Ogbese. I don't have the mind of living Ayede Ogbese because I never, it's something I never planned for. That after service, I will be in Ayede Ogbese doing this. But presently now, with the help of 1 million teacher and with the help of the course, I've that even me myself, I'm happy because along whenever I'm walking on the streets, people will refer to me as not just a copper and not but a teacher as well. I came to serve, but I didn't just come and serve, but also 1 million teachers helped me to impact on the citizens, that is the indigenous and non-indigenous of the community. The indigenous and non-indigenous of the community. So I will advise my fellow black belts not just to just sit down, because we should just think of what you can do. Don't just study the course and sit down. There is a lot. If for those that are still on it, please just try and do it. In fact, 1 million teachers has really helped me in diverse ways. It has really connected me to some persons I have never dreamt of meeting, even in the town where I am not supposed to be. Where I'm not supposed to, where I wasn't known, through the help of 1 million teachers, the SDG courses. So my fellow black belts will advise you don't just study and keep it. The point is not just to become a black belt, but to make exploit with it, to make exploit, to develop your community anywhere you are. So it has also helped me to understand something that it's not just even all about, it's not about your location or where you are, but it's all about what you have and you want to do. And all this wouldn't have been easier for me without the help of Mrs. Bukola. But she has really helped me. Anytime I'm confused about anything, I would have to call her that, okay, what's the best step to take? She has really helped me and guide me during the course. And so many of it, I start saying testimonies I have. In fact, even with the little programs I've organized, some parents sometimes will have to give their children, school stuff, some items, come give to me just to say thank you because the thing is free. Nobody's paying anything. So I'll just sit them down and tell them, okay, do this, do that, this is how it's supposed to be. And presently, some of them they are already having that dream of becoming future photographers, having a business, having a business of their own to run, even before they step into university, having a business of their own to run, they have that experience. And some other persons are still coming, because after teaching them, they will have to, some of them will go home and tell their neighbors that there's something like this is happening, Even those that were into saloon, hair making, and so on, have to leave their place of work and join us and join the photo clinic, because it's not just all about the photography aspect, but as well the ICT stuff. Because I have opened their mindsets to Photoshops, Premiere Pro, some softwares like that, how to use them. They can, at least for now, they can still sit on system and do one or two things which they have not been privileged to have the experience before. So I never regretted wasting my data. I never regretted wasting my time, and I never regretted having a sleepless night doing 180 times, going through the SDG courses, the SDG course and 1 million C-sharp courses. I have never regretted. Although at first it was like, oh, will I even cope? Why will I be wasting data? They are not paying me money. But when in fact, it is possible. And one of the good things there is that my students, with the help of 1 million teachers, my students presently now are doing that course. because I can't just teach them and go. No, they will need to, they will need to also learn. They will need to see where I gain all these ideas from. So they are also doing it, and presently I think I have about 7 of them are black belts already, of which I'm very sure they are on this group now. 7 of them, 7 of my students. So they don't have smartphone. They don't have smartphone. Sometimes I will have to borrow phone for them, talk to their parents to give them phone to use, and so on. So they keep on doing it. And some persons, about 6 to 7 of them are still doing it. I think one is on Bluebird, 2 to 3 are still on the Girl Rising and like that. So I'm very, very sure before on 5th of this month, but they are very serious about what they're doing, studying it. And I told them that they are not just going to study, but anything they study, they should have something doing, not just to study it and get the certificate. No, I know the certificate also is good, but they should, in the process of studying, they should think of what they can do. They can do not, especially in idea of it, because a lot have to be done. And I really thank God, because from Akure, in the whole Ondo State, I don't think there is anything like this in the whole of Ondo State. So I'm glad I'm a black belt, and I'm glad I did the course. I'm glad I didn't allow laziness to over me. So I did that course, and everything was successful. And presently I am making it back. There's still a lot we want to do. I and my students and I want to bring to us new things. There's still a lot that I and Mrs. Bukola are still planning how to do about it, which by the special grace of God, the whole world, Nigeria, will hear about it. That all this was done, was put together, was put together by a member of 1 million teachers, a black belt, common black belt. So that is just all I have to say for now. For the plans, I have too many plans we are still going to carry out probably before the year starts. And the photo clinic is not just for only boys. There's no gender bias. It's both for boys and for the ladies. So we are not sentimental here, and it's free. Yeah, some of them, we have students of secondary school that have graduated, and some are still in secondary school. So to me, I think it will help them to have a plan even before they step into university. So it's not just the training or the empowerment. The empowerment is there, but one of the personal advantage, one of the things I've gained from 1 million teacher is that it has helped me. It has helped me and have counted me among those that have counted life. So nobody might see me, but with what I am doing, I think I have impacted within just 2 months. Students that don't even know, kids that don't even know how to, that have not even come across camera before, can operate, can take different shots, can study pictures, can sit and create something nice with their with laptop. So the resources is very, very small, because that's all I have. So, but I never allowed that to weigh me down. So what we do is I teach them, use my camera to teach them. This is what you do. I display them on section. While this section is learning how to snap, the other ones are learning how to boot and boot the system, how to edit some of those pictures, and also the video part. Also, we are also touching it, so which we've done a class, a tutorial on how to do live streaming, with cameras, with phones, without any interaction at all. So 1 million teachers have really, really helped me. There are a lot to say. Though from sunset it wasn't funny, it was difficult. But I thank God I never allowed my laziness to overcome me. Never allowed my laziness to overcome me. And everybody around me are happy. The students are very, very happy. They are glad. Even their parents are happy that wow, this they never knew something. Some persons will even see me, they'll be like, try and get a sign popper, get a signpost, and people should know about this. That there's no problem. That's very smooth. Though we have, I think I printed a banner which some persons saw and called to put their case. We have pictorial evidence. We will drop some links and some pictures after the meeting. The reason why I don't have my presentation, my PowerPoint presentation, is because of light. I'm actually managing my system because I can't call it my own. It's a general property. I am using it. My students are also learning from it. So it's a general property. For 2 days now, our area in university, we don't really have light. We have light problem. Even my phone, I have to get fuel to I have to fuel it to charge and charge my phone for this particular meeting. So I never regretted my data I wasted for the course. I never regretted anything I did or I passed through the sleepless nights. There is no regret at all because I am happy doing what I am doing, like working towards what I am gifted to impact my community. Of course, I'm not an indigenous of Ondo State. I am not from Obese. I wasn't born in Obese. I'm an indigenous of Kogi State. But I was posted to Obese, and now I am acting in Obese. And both the indigenous of Ayede Obese and non-indigenous are very happy about what I am doing. Even for the fact that we don't have a permanent site, we don't have this, we don't have at least the children loves it. Keeps coming. Even presently now, some of them are outside making some films. The pictures of little baby fowl and nature photography they did last week. Some of them are outside presently doing the frame, trying to frame, because I taught them that last week. So they're trying to do the practical to try it themselves. I have an evidence that they're actually outside doing some of the practicals here. I think some of them are still inside trying to take pictures and you can see what they're doing. And they have done a lot. They have done a lot. That's the one they are still doing this. They not minding if they will even go home. Yesterday we left the school around. This is what some of the things they've done. They left the school around 7 p.m. yesterday. They left the school around 7 p.m. And but I never regretted it because I love what is happening, seeing the young boys and young girls doing all this. Even some of my colleagues, the new top members that were posted to IAD Obese have to register, have to come around for the course as well. So they said, how much will you collect? For now, I can't tell you this how much I will pay. Anything you like, give me. But if you don't have, just come join me. Just come anytime you are free, then we'll do things I will teach you. Some of my students are already collecting wedding contracts from their neighbors, which every Saturday from November, first Saturday of November, we've been going every Saturday, we've been going for events. So we've been going for events, keeping ourselves busy with that and having a lot of experience. It has even made some of them to travel. Those that have not traveled before, it has made them to travel out of ideal person, travel to tour centers like View, Erentisha, Ikiti States, for adventures to take some shots, because they all have personal projects which they are doing. So that's what we have now. And in future, we also have something big that's coming up. Something big coming up, which I wouldn't want to disclose now. I wouldn't want to reveal now, but there's something big which we are coming up with. So that's the latest and my story that I have to tell. I believe I have a lot of story that I'm still going to tell, because this is just the beginning. And this is who 1 million teachers have made me to become. Some of my colleagues are, some of my fellow corps members are in their house, their lodge, sleeping now, resting, eating. But here I am, I'm still in school with my students. After my normal activities from 7 a.m. in the morning to 4 p.m., I will have to wait for them, 4:30 they will come. So if there's any question, I'm ready to answer any questions.
Okay, well done, Alexandra. You're doing a great job. Thank you very much.
Yes,
well done. Yes, that's what 1 million teachers is all about. It's all about lifting up others, impacting the community, and improving the quality of teaching and learning. Yeah, I was just going to ask if you had any pictures to show us about what you had been doing or what they were doing, but then you went outside and you showed off some of the work. It would have been nice if you could have included other examples or other evidence of all the work that you had been doing by having some photographs. You're a photographer. We'd expect to see more photographs, more video footage, more photographs of what you've been doing. You can actually build a portfolio, but well done. You clearly explained what you do. What was your first degree in? What did you study for your first degree?
Mass communication, ma'am.
Okay, mass communication. Okay, yes. All right. Okay. And I know you're a copper, but how do you support yourself, and how are you able to buy all the resources and equipment that you need for your work?
Yes, for the camera, though I learned the work before, during my university. While I was in school, that was when I learned the work. So I got my camera before my service. Then most times I used my allowance to empower the institution. Like the materials they are using now, it was the allowance I received, I think about, is it not last year, 2 days ago? Yes, 2 days ago, that it was out of my allowance I bought some of those materials.
Wow. Well done. That's very kind of you. Okay, well done. More grease to your elbows. Okay.
Amen.
So I don't know if anybody else has any other questions. You can raise your hand or unmute yourself and ask Alexander any other questions you want to ask him. Does anybody else want to unmute and ask him a question, or raise your hand and I'll call your name? Does anybody have anything else to say?
I do, ma.
Okay, please go ahead. Yes, go
what
ahead.
I want to ask is, like, what are the challenges you face and how do you scale through them?
Okay, Alexander, did you hear that? Alexander, can you unmute yourself, please? Can you unmute yourself, Alexander?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, yeah, she said, what are the challenges you faced? And how did you get through those challenges?
Yes, some of the challenges I'm facing now presently is location. Is location, because I wouldn't want to endanger the lives of my students. Because the school we are using, the place we are using presently is the school I'm serving. So some of the times, and they have a family house within the compound. So some of the times they don't allow us to do what we want to do. And I will have to take them to another place for us to learn. So that's one of the challenges I think I am facing presently. Location, we don't have a permanent site, and also equipment. We don't have enough equipment because the students I have here are more than the equipment. What we are training with is just one camera and one laptop. We don't have enough. So for about 12 persons to touch one camera, 12 persons to touch, before you know, the time will elapse time for the day. And I don't want a situation where I will be allowing them to go home at night. And so that's just one of the challenges I think I have. We don't have equipment, and the location. We don't have a good location for our studies to do whatever we wish to do. We don't have a good location. Whenever sometimes when they come, they will ask us to go that we can't use it today. Maybe they have visitors. That is my boss has a visitor. He won't allow us. Sometimes they will not even open the gate for us to come in. So whenever I want to use the school, I will have to tell them, sir, can we use the school today? Can we use the any of the class today? They said, fine, there's no problem, we can use. And there is no chance you will have to tell us there won't be chance. So that's just, I think, for now, are the two challenges I'm facing. And the way one of the ways I overcome them is that some of my friends have cameras and some of my friends have laptop. Even for the fact that I don't have money to get mine, sometimes I will call them and ask them to come with their camera and to come very far from here, to come very far from Ogbese, to come with their cameras and their laptop so that we can train with them. And after we are done, we'll go. And you know that it won't be possible for them to be coming every day because of the transport fare that is involved and the cost and risk of life. So, and whenever I even want them to come, they may tell me they have events that they won't be able to come. So these are some of the how I do overcome. And for the location, we don't really have only one school in Ayede Ogbese. Whenever my place of PPA, my place of primary assignment didn't work out, I will have to, before the next meeting, I will have to find a way of meeting some persons. Like we have one school here, Community Comprehensive High School. It's a government school. I have to talk to the security man that would like to use this place tomorrow, one of the classes for our tutorials. But one of the challenges we have about that place is that there is no light in their classroom for us to plug laptops and charge our camera batteries. So even if we charge the laptop before we get there and before two or three persons operate, the system is already saying battery low. So these are ways I do overcome them, because I don't depend on one location. So if we use this location today and it won't work out tomorrow, I'll start looking for another place. And sometimes we'll go to some schools that will decline our request, that they can't allow us to use their classes. They can't allow us. We've even used a church before. Used my church before for training. Used my church before because there was no way. There was no other means for us to train. So I have to take them to my church, discuss with my pastor. So we use outside my church for the class, which it's not supposed to. So since what we have is just laptop and camera and it's mobile, we can move them anywhere. So these are some of the ways I do overcome some of the challenges.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
That's
you.
really a lot of determination to succeed and to help others in the community. Well done.
Thank you.
Okay, if there are no other questions, the time is 2 minutes to 6. We're going to call it a day. Thank you so much, Alexander, for sharing your experience, for your impacting your community, for lifting others up and helping all the members of your community. Well done. It's a very rewarding and hardworking thing to do. So we want to see more black belts helping others, lifting others up, helping, impacting, improving the knowledge and skills of members of the community. He has introduced his skill of photography to the community members in Ayede Ogbese. And also thank you very much to Bukola, Mrs. Bukola Arowoshegbe, for mentoring you and introducing you to the community, and the Olori Olufumilayo for sponsoring the program. Maybe you never know, somebody might sponsor you, buy you a studio, buy you equipment in the future. You never know. Keep working hard. Don't give up. And God bless. Thank you very much. Well done, Alexander. All right. So we're going to call it a day if nobody else has any other questions to ask.